I'm actually at my sister's place in Ohio today.
What's that?
At my sister's
Oh,
house in Ohio today.
oh,
We're here for today.
wow. Your commitment is very, energizing.
She also attends the classes, so now we're both here together.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, what's her name?
Krishna Mataji.
Oh, do you come? Have you been to temple here?
No, she actually lives in Ohio, so she joined the online reading group with Govind Mohini Mataji.
Oh, that's what Krishna Mata I remember sometime. Okay, she's also a full energy like you all. Okay. Okay, got it, Mataji.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just give it 2 more minutes, devotees, and then so that everyone can join, and then we'll get started soon. Okay, dear devotees, Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Now we will get started, at least with the prayers. Thank you so much for joining and taking on this glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. Today we will have Shravya Mataji going first for Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 2, Chapter 2. In glorifying Chapter 2. And Sandhya Mataji was nice enough to take on the service. Thanks, Sandhya Mataji. For glorifying and presenting Canto 2, Chapter 3 for us. So with that, I hand over the call to Shravya Mataji. Please go ahead, Mataji. Take over the call. Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is a small attempt to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. And I'll just offer my prayers first. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so I'll just share my screen. Just give me a second. Okay, so this is Canto 2, Chapter 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'll just do a quick summary, and and in between I'll just say what my takeaway points were. So yeah, the first part of the Canto 2, Chapter 2 was should we do karma kanda? Is karma kanda a worthy goal to pursue? So basically, in texts, I think 2 to 7, it was said that karma kanda is like downright rejected in the Vedas, and the importance of why we should live minimalistically was actually said, that we should not just do things to keep the body and soul together. There is no need for like extravagant spending or too much luxury just to maintain the body. So there were these very wonderful examples given, that why do you need cots and beds when the earth is enough, the flat earth is enough to sleep? Why is there a need of pillows when your own arms can actually act as pillows? Why is there need of any utensils when you have the palms of your hands? And even they go to the extent of, why do you need clothing? Aren't there the skins of trees? And don't trees give you enough charity that you have to do extra endeavor to like maintain yourself? And so basically, does the Lord not protect those who take completely shelter of the Lord? So this was like the main thing, main running theme, that why we did not run after these materialistic luxuries too much. Of course, like the practical aspect of it is that we should not also right now reject everything, but we should try to invest all our resources, mainly time and money, in the service of the Lord, and more think about the Lord. So basically, it's about just satisfying all the bare necessities, and it's all about simple living and high thinking, which Srila Prabhupada always emphasized. So I also put a quote of Srila Prabhupada here, that Prabhupada said that don't be after these motor cars, television, and nonsense things, sporting wine women. Don't be after all these. Simply eat sufficiently, keep your health nicely, chant Hare Krishna, realize Krishna, and go back to home. So this is our philosophy. So there's always an emphasis of this. That should always like be that, we should properly spend our resources. And the main like takeaway point which I appreciated, because of which I actually chose this canto or this chapter, is that a very important thing about sadhus and sannyasis was told there, that actually sannyasis and sadhus, they are surrendered souls. They completely surrendered to the Lord, and all their necessities are already taken care by the Lord. So it is not that they come to our houses for something. It is actually that they come to our house so that they can give mercy to us, so that we can get uplifted. And they have nothing. There is nothing which we can externally offer. We can offer to them. Everything is supplied by the Lord, because they're completely dependent on the Lord, and it's arranged already. So this was one of the very attractive points of this chapter. And going ahead, the descriptions of the super soul was given. So I'll just read the descriptions of super soul. So the size of the super soul is 8 inches. And the super soul has like 4 different things in his hands. That is Sudarshan Chakra, conch shell, lotus, and the Gada. The super soul's mouth always expresses happiness. The super soul's eyes are lotus petal, and he's decorated with ornaments, which are gold set and jewels. And he has dress like saffron of Kadamba, bedecked with jewels. And his head dressing and earrings are glowing. On his chest, he has a Kaustuba jewel, which has engraved with a beautiful calf. So thankfully, this picture covers most of it. That there's also a calf in the Kaustuba jewel. And his torso is garlanded with fresh flowers. And his hair is oiled, it's curling, is a bluish tint, and a beautiful smiling face. which is very pleasing. So this description of the super soul is being given in this chapter. So I hope this picture gives us a glimpse of the super soul. Okay, so moving ahead, the next question which was asked in this chapter was that what should be the path of an advanced yogi? Like what path should an advanced yogi take, and what are the different outcomes of it? So basically, any yogi, I guess, the first part, the first thing they have to do is Ashtanga yoga. That is starting from yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, and pratyahara. So I just put a picture of the Ashtanga yoga process, whichever I found online. But just to say that, this is so difficult, like such difficult poses, and to follow so many, to sit in those postures is so difficult. And especially, I think even if we do yama, niyama, that is things which we should not do, they are so tough for us, generally, at least for me, like it is very tough to say, no, you can't do this. It is like out of my control. So once a yogi has gone through all these processes, then the next stage comes. There's a decision-making point here, that is whether the yogi is attached or not attached. If the yogi is not attached, then the yogi is recommended to meditate upon the Paramatma form of the Lord, that is the super soul. And once the yogi meditates upon the super soul, there are like stages again. That is the Labdopashanti stage, where there is no influence of time, modes of nature, no false ego, and no material nature. Then the Brahman realization stage. And then third is the Satchakra yoga stage. That is, you lift the life air through the different chakras, and then finally the soul leaves the top part of the skull, like the middle part called Brahmaranda, and then the yogi attains liberation. So this is the journey of a yogi who's not attached to anything material. But if the yogi is attached to something material, then the yogi is advised to meditate upon the Virat Rupa of the Lord. And once through this meditation, the yogi is advised to actually pass over all these lokas, that is like the Maharloka, Tapaloka, and then the Brahmaloka. And after the Brahmaloka, the yogi is told to pass through the coverings of the universe, which is earth, water, fire, air, ether, false ego, etc. And each of the coverings, as we know, is more thicker than the previous one. And after that, he has to pass through the false ego, and then Mahattattva and Pradhan as well. And then the last stage is to merge into Brahman. So these are the two ways. If the yogi is attached, the yogi is not attached, and so on. Going on, then the next question, which is the most important question, is that which is the best way to actually attain liberation? So the best way of attaining liberation is to actually hold on to the lotus feet of the Lord and just perform sadhana bhakti, that is practicing devotional service to the Lord. And the sadhana bhakti is easier than other processes because it is just done by hearing, glorifying, and remembering the Lord. And basically, the aim of life is to just purify yourself and attain the lotus feet of the Lord. And this is the verdict of both Lord Krishna and Lord Brahma. And I just wanted to say that through sadhana bhakti, it is service is our goal as well as our I think journey. Our destination and our journey both. So that's it. I just wanted to say one more takeaway point, which I really liked and I wanted to appreciate, is that Paramatma is present in all our hearts as the witnessing bird who gives us both remembrance and sanctions all our activities. So the best thing is to actually strengthen our relationship with the Paramatma so that we can be guided towards the Supreme Lord. With the help of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, we should take help of the Paramatma. We should strengthen our relationship with the Paramatma in our heart so that we can go towards our final goal of serving the Lord unconditionally. That's it. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. That was so nicely, you summarized it very nicely, because I remember when I had read this chapter it was difficult for me to understand those coverings that the yogis has to, the soul of the yogi has to pass through. But you explain it so easily. I remember even in, when we were reading in the Bhagavatam class, we had to read that section twice because it was just, I was completely lost, and I said, can we read this again? So I had everyone read it again because I was not understanding, but you put it so easily, how everything, the soul of the yogi has to go through these different layers of, to reach Brahma Jyoti.
Because I took the high level picture, so I mean I just understood the high level picture and I presented it. I understood. Yeah, thank you.
No, it's good that because I think every time we have these classes, it really brings back those readings that we've gone through and read before. So it's definitely very nice to connect to these again. And as Prabhupada always is his thing, right? That he always does, says things and writes things again and again, so that we can act, in my brain, Kali-yuga brain, I can really understand and take it in. So having these classes definitely helps me keep things, revive the readings again in my mind, and it's somehow it makes it easier for me to connect now than when I was actually reading back then, especially these technical topics that we're having in Canto 2. So thank you for making it so simple for everyone to understand.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity, Mataji. Even actually, I also understood it this time. I did not understand it while I was reading it.
Yeah, and you picked this. I remember like when we started this, you actually picked this. So I'm sure you connected to this very deeply, because even in the beginning when we started these classes, you said you wanted to do the Canto 2, Chapter 2. So that was, it's great that you actually took this on and presented this. Thank you so much, Mataji. And I know as Prabhupada is trying to highlight one thing for all of us, that sadhana bhakti and bhakti yoga is the simplest process. There's so many complex yoga postures and everything that you have to do when you have to be in this Brahma Jyoti, and still that's not even a fully realized one that we reach. So it's just this peacefulness that we have, and the process to get there is so complicated and complex. And whereas Bhakti Yoga for devotees is so simple. So thank you for highlighting that fact, Mataji, that Prabhupada always wants us to realize. With that being said, we will move to, thank you so much, Mataji. We'll move to Sandhya Mataji for Chapter 3, Glorification for Canto 2. Thank you, Mataji. Sandhya Mataji, please take over the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So that Shravyas was very nice and crisp, and please excuse me if mine is going to be a little bit dragged out. I have not prepared like nice slides like her. Okay.
It's glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. So
it's no excuse for you, Mataji. You have to do it.
Oh, there he goes. Prabhu, be in the background, okay? No attack mode. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for taking the service on, Mataji. Greatly appreciate
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the opportunity. And so we heard from Shravya about what Shukadeva Goswami has to say, how much importance we should give to the bodily level maintenance and comfort. So that was really very, very, astonishing for people of modern age to hear about, I'm sure. So in the next chapter, in third chapter, we are going to hear about how this practice of bhakti, how it will soften our hearts, or how it fails to make a change, any transformation in our hearts, because we are so armed with all modern day advancement in technology and so-called improvements in all our sciences and the various ways we can we have gained advances in transportation and communication, whatnot. So will the message of bhakti penetrate our hearts even? That is a question of this chapter. So in the beginning, we talk about up to verse number 9 almost. Yeah, it is like a spreadsheet. If you know, those who desire, the Vedas provide. Those who desire for wealth, let's say, or those who desire for courage and heroism and progeny, all this we can make a spreadsheet. Who is the demigod to be contacted, worshipped? So then after making that list available for us, then Sukadeva Goswami is saying in verse number 10, which is very famous, like akama sarvakamo va mokshakamo udarathi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So if you have no material desires, akama, who is akama actually? Who is a devotee of the Lord? He doesn't have any material desires. Then sarvakama, that is a karmis generally. They are full of material desires. And then mokshakama, those are the impersonalists who aspire for liberation or Brahman realization. So all these categories, whatever class you belong to, the advice given is Tivrena Bhakti Yogene Cheta Purusham Param. That is, you worship the Supreme Lord with Tivrena. That is very enthusiastically, with like in a hot pursuit. Like the sun's ray, pure sun's ray can burn the whatever if we put that lens or not. Sometimes the sun's rays can just burn a puppet or something, I have heard in India. Similarly, we have to tivrena, that is very enthusiastically concentrated effort in worshipping the Supreme Lord. So that is because Shukadev, because King Parishit's question earlier in early chapters were what is the responsibility of all and humans, and what is the responsibility especially of somebody who is about to die. So Shukadev Goswami has given the answer already. That is who should be worshipped, remembered, smartavyam, kirtida, smartavyam, and then chanted about. So srotavyam, all that words is there. So this is so worshipping the Lord is the answer to the question. Now here he is going to say that in this verse number 10, he's saying everybody should come under this, become a devotee of the Lord, whatever his situation, whether he's, wherever his mind is at, he should definitely aspire to become a devotee of the Lord. That is the success of a human life. That should be the goal of human life. Now, then we have, and text 11 says that all the different kinds of worshippers of multi-demigods can attain the highest perfectional benediction, which is spontaneous attraction, unflinchingly fixed upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by the association of a pure devotee of the Lord. So that there lies the key. That is how to gain the attraction to the Supreme Lord. Only if we come in contact with a pure devotee, only through the mercy of a pure devotee we can get bhakti. So bhakti comes from bhakti. So the text 11 stresses on that one. then and then only this when we come in contact with the such knowledge, then it frees us from material attachment, and then that will such knowledge is resulting in a complete suspension of the waves and whirlpools of the material modes, because we are actually why we are in this material world is because we are under the modes, and Krishna says in the early itself in Bhagavad Gita, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna, Nirdvando Nitya Sattvasto Niryoga Chema Mahatmavan. That is, you be situated in the self and rise above the modes of nature. That is Bhagavan's advice. So only by getting this transcendental knowledge in the association of devotees, we can get over our material attachments and rise to the platform of the spiritual platform. And from there only we can make progress towards advancing in God consciousness, or establishing our constitutional relationship with the Lord. So when the mention is made of the pure devotee of the Lord, Shaunaka Rishi is asking very excitedly, after all, we know Shukadev Goswami is a very transcendental personality, and so is also King Parishit. King Parishit, from his childhood, he was engaged in the service of the Lord. He was playing with the dolls and imitating the worship of his elders. And so both are very highly advanced souls. So it must have been so, Shaunaka Rishi is saying, oh, how can we? Sudha Goswami, he's inspiring Sudha Goswami to give it, to pass on that knowledge discussed between them, and painting the picture of Shukadev Goswami and Maharaj Parishit as highly exalted souls already. So, and now in text 17, and the onwards, 17 to 25 actually, Shaunaka Rishi is condemning those who do not, those who are not enthusiastic to receive this knowledge about the Supreme Lord, who turn away from such transcendental subject matters. So he is saying, both by rising and by setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of the all-good personality of Godhead. So we know that in the hourglass of our days and nights are falling through that very fast, and still we are, our minds are somewhere, everywhere. It is very hard to focus on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord and stay there, So this is there is also an example of the person, I forget, and that is the black and the white mouse. They are cutting away the the nights and days. They are chewing away our lifetime, and still this person who's in the dark well, he is still trying to enjoy that that drop of honey that's going to, that is the material enjoyment. He's still his, he cannot forget it. That's his aspiration, to enjoy this life. the so-called material happiness. So then, so Sukadeva Goswami is saying, do the trees, he's talking about the consciousness of the trees and the animals and all around us. What do we see in nature? They are men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. So here we have the dogs and the hogs and camels and asses. So we know them. What, the hogs, because they are so unrestricted in their eating habits, they go looking for food on all filthy places. And the camels, they chew on thorns and they think that it is very tasty, but actually they are enjoying their own blood. And then the asses, they simply carry a heavy load, and for one carrot, actually it can eat grass which is plentiful around, but it is following that one carrot offered by that the washerman. So these are all these are such people praise those who are not interested in the topics of Lord Hari, who is the deliverer from evils. So then he goes on to say, one who has not listened to the messages about the prowess and marvelous acts of the personality of Godhead and has not sung or chanted loudly the worthy songs about the Lord is to be considered to possess ear holes like the holes of snakes and the tongue like the tongue of a frog. So he is condemning. What is the use of a human life if we do not, glorify the Supreme Lord? If we do not engage our senses, our intelligence in, service to the Lord. This is like we know that bhakti, the process of bhakti means engaging the senses in the service of the Lord. But the Artha Muni's definition, that is sarvopati vinirmukta tatparatvena nirmalap rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchate. So that is engaging our senses in the service of the Lord, and that will free ourselves of all material designations. Otherwise, we will have that attachments to our, our bodily status, that is, and all kinds of designations that we are used to thinking ourselves in terms of, our profession, our place of birth, our color of skin, whatever, whatnot. So in order to come out of those, we have to engage our senses in the service of the Lord. And that is, so if you don't do it, then it is like wasting this valuable instrument for God realization, the human form of life. That is the rest of the chapter about. And text 24 especially, I will read a little from Unveiling the Lotus Feet. That is, it is saying, the person who has not, person who has never experienced, a person who has not at any time received the dust of the feet of the Lord's pure devotee upon his head is certainly a dead body. And the person who has never experienced the aroma of the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord is also a dead body, although breathing. So so much, having so much heap of condemnation of those who are of atheistic mentality and who is wasting their, this valuable human form of life. And then Srila Prabhupada says, Lord Krishna is the property of his pure unconditional devotees. And as such, only the devotees can deliver Krishna to another devotee. Krishna is never obtainable directly. Lord Chaitanya therefore designated himself as Gopi Partru Padakamalayur Dasanu Dasanu Dasa, or the most obedient servant of the servants of the Lord, who maintains the Gopi damsels at Vrindavana. So, pure devotees never approach the Lord directly. Rather, they try to please the servant of the Lord's servants. In this way, the Lord becomes pleased. Only then can the devotees relish the taste of the tulsi leaves stuck to his lotus feet. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that the Lord can never be found by becoming a great scholar of Vedic literature. Instead, he is easily approached through his pure devotees. In Vrindavana, all the pure devotees pray for Srimati Radharani's mercy because she is the Lord's pleasure potency. Srimati Radharani is the tender-hearted feminine counterpart of the Supreme Whole, resembling the perfectional stage of the worldly feminine nature. Therefore, her mercy is readily available for sincere devotees. Once she recommends a devotee to Lord Krishna, the Lord immediately accepts that devotee into his association. The conclusion is that we should be more serious about seeking the devotee's mercy than the Lord's direct mercy. And by the goodwill of the devotees, our natural attraction for the Lord's service will be revived. So association is very much stressed. Otherwise, we are nowhere in terms of our efforts to get closer to Krishna. And then certainly that heart is still framed, which in spite of one's chanting the holy name of the Lord with concentration, does not change when ecstasy takes place. Tears fill the eyes and the hairs stand on end. So, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Nainam galada shrudhareya vadanam gatgarutyagira pulagir nishidam vabukada tavanama grahane bhavishyati. When will my eyes be filled with tears? When will my voice be choked with emotion? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end? When I simply utter your names, Krishna. So there is no hope for those who are so mechanically, involved in, imitating the devotees of the Lord. They have to truly serve with their manasa vacha karmana or diya artha vacha. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, one must use one's intelligence and then wealth and then words in service to the Supreme Lord. That way only one can make any progress towards in spiritual life. So then Saunaka Rishi, after having condemned all kinds of materialistic person, he is asking Sudha Goswami to further narrate what Srila Sukadeva Goswami spoke to Maharaj Parishit. And that is so this is the chapter 3. I'm sorry, I've not done a great preparation. Just off the book. Thank you very much for giving me the chance and for listening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. That was very beautiful. I don't know why you say that and these things. You're very humble, your nature. But thank you for taking on this service. And you explained it so beautifully. You know, the main things that I really got out of, your glorification here for chapter 3 is we need to, how bhakti is transferred by bhakti, right? So we need to be around devotees, because only by that, association of pure devotees, we can actually get rid of our, material desires that we have in our hearts. And connecting it to Shravya Mataji's presentation before, how Prabhupada was really heavy when he said, what is the need of all these things when you have, all the natural ways of living, simple living, high thinking kind of. And the only way to get rid of that is by engaging our senses, as you said, in the Lord's service. So we need to make sure we engage all of our senses into the Lord, to the Lord's service, in order for us to it's supposed to be that yukta vairagya. So we're not supposed to renounce everything just crazily in palgu vairagya. So it's not just to leave everything because out of frustration, but automatically when we attach our senses to Krishna, then we can use everything that we have, even our wealth, if we have it, all the opulences that we have, we can actually use it in Krishna's service, because we will not be attached to him for our own sense gratification. So, and that is what will, it's, even though you have everything, materialistically, people may think that, you have so much materialistic opulence, but inside your consciousness, you're detached from it, just like how Parikshit Maharaj was. He had everything, but he was not attached to them, those because the devotee of the Lord. And so, association of devotees, and making sure that we engage all of our senses into serving the Lord, versus trying to stop anything. We shouldn't renounce anything. Renunciation is like a byproduct. Detachment and the detachment should be byproduct of our bhakti.
Knowledge and detachment.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. So that's definitely highlighting in both of these two verses today. So thank you very much. At this time, I would like to request devotees on the call to share their realizations, or if they have questions, please go ahead and we can continue with that. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Shravya Mataji. Thank you, Sandhya Mataji.
Thank you. Hari Bol Mataji's, both Mataji's, very nice. I want to just do the appreciation, which way you both describe everything so deeply and sharply. Then we can understand, the association is so important, because bhakti comes from bhakti, whatever you say, Mataji. So it's really nice. Association is the main thing. By association, we can get everything. And we can please Krishna, and we can get the Krishna Prem too. So it's very nice, Mataji. Both Matajis. Thank you so much. Always give us, always I am seeking for your association, Mataji. Never leave me.
Thank you so much, Mataji, yours and Megha, and our reading, and all of us, our association. I value it very much. I mean, without that, it's like a desert of material existence, truly. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for that sharing. Devotees, you can have, you can either appreciate too, not only share realizations, but definitely I would like to also open the floor, everyone to appreciate both of the Matajis. I think it was just so beautiful, and these topics, and then Krishna is only attained, he can never be approached directly. So it's great that we have this, this is all grace to Vamsidhari Prabhu, that he actually created this reading groups, and then now this Bhagavatam glorification, that we as devotees are able to at least have each other's association, instead of putting our efforts into some mundane things on Fridays or any other days. So thank you.
Yes, thank you to the Prabhu. He always all those turned away from, he brings them, hey, this, turn this side, turn this side. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So wonderful, the works you are doing.
Yeah.
Hare, yeah, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. So you did very, I'm not there to say that you did great, but you are, of course, great. And what I noticed is, from the last Sunday feast also, I forgot his, for Prabhu's name in the panel discussion, but he also mentioned like every chapter in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna ends with bhakti. So in Srimad Bhagavatam also, we are seeing almost most of the times, do that, do this, but this is the most important. This is the only way kind of goal that I noticed even today in both of these chapters. And another one, when you mentioned that with the goodwill of the devotee only one gets mercy from Krishna. So that is really, really true. Even in Srila Prabhupada says, I was reading Sri Ishopanishad, so in that he mentioned that Patram Pushpam Phalantoyam. In that verse he says, Krishna, the devotee offers, even if he offers a fruit, flower, water, or that, and he accepts it. That means it's, Sri Prabhupada says that it doesn't mean that he's looking for that. He has even better feast in Vaikuntha Lokas, but he still accepts because of the devotee. It's not because of the food he's offering. It's because of the only devotion or the devotee and their love. So he's only looking for that and not anything else. So that is what I also thought when you were talking about it. It just replicates the same thing. It mimics the same thing basically. So that is one thing. And another one where human life is full of responsibility. He gives a very good analogy that a highly placed government servant versus an ordinary clerk, where a highly placed government servant has that facilities provided. That's why, because he has to take that decisions which are of highly nature. Similarly, our human life is like that. We got this life. It is for us. We need to take that high value. What is that? The higher aims, which is this one, the following Krishna, or dovetailing all our services to Krishna, and then realizing self-realization, which is losing, and which is not today's struggle is different. Life of struggle, everyone is struggling with different things, economic problems, health problems, things, but this is the one which cures everything, self-realization and Krishna. So that is, we are missing. So, but the point you made is human life is very, very important, and very fortunate that we are having this life out of 8.4 million species. Is that right? Yeah. So yeah, that these 2 points I really got connected to today. Thank you so much, both of you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for bringing that point out. Yeah, as you said, the last Sunday's class, where Prabhupada is trying to let us know that in every aspect, bhakti is the best. He's trying to steer us towards bhakti as the best process especially in this Kali Yuga. So, anytime it is, but even it's the easiest in Kali Yuga, way. So, thank you for bringing that point out. Very good point.
I may add one thing I forgot to just now, what Prabhu said right now about discussion in the association of devotees. How important that is. When Shaunaka Rishi is describing how the conversation between Sukadeva Goswami and King Parishit, how exalted that is. So under that one, Srila Prabhupada is saying, Krishna's place, Goloka Vrindavana, that is spread everywhere. How does that Goloka Vrindavana become spread? As soon as there is devotee, yes, Tatra Tishtami Narada, Yatra Gayanti Vatbhakta. Krishna says, Naham Tishtami Vaikunthe, Innacha Yoginam Hridayeshu. I do not stay in Vaikuntha Loka or within the heart of the yogis. Tatra tishtami narada yatra gayanti madbhakta. I stay where my devotees are chanting about me, about my glories. This is the process. So, I mean, we can be very happy that Krishna will be personally present when we are, discussing Bhagavatam topics. I forgot to, highlight that one. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes. It's very true. That's why we feel this bliss when we discuss about Krishna. We don't feel like this about mundane topics. Mundane topics, we feel that something is important today, and then after 2 months or something, 2 years, it's of no value. But Krishna's Katha, you always feel the bliss, no matter how whenever you're discussing. So
yes,
yeah.
there is.
Anyone else? Any other devotees have any other sharings? Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Krishna. I just want to say that I do feel the mercy of devotees on me, especially devotees in my family, my sister and my mom. They both have prayed and they've given me mercy that I have been able to read Bhagavatam in association with all of you devotees and reviewing even Canto 1 that I have not even read, but because of their mercy and Krishna's mercy, I was able to review Canto 1, and this is where I am now. I'm also, they gave me Srimad Bhagavatam, and the first thing I said was like, what am I going to do with all this? My mom's like, just keep it. And as soon as that happened, like within 6 months, like I started reading Gita, I started reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, and I can see that it was because of their mercy.
Thank you. That's your good deeds, Krishna.
So wonderful to hear that. Of course, Meka and mom together, they are a force.
It's her choice.
Yeah, so great.
Thank you.
No, and your past karma too, Krishna. Then you like to do this one. Otherwise, if we say someone else and they don't do so this is your karma too. Your past deed.
Yes, that is there. We should have that bhakti mukhi sukriti in our past life, to be able to do something this life. Yes, that is there.
But again, they prayed to Krishna for me, and Krishna made that seed bloom and started rooting. So it's them who gave me this opportunity, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna. All Krishna's mercy and devotees association. Even though we are so fortunate, we got association. And I especially tell the Gopi Megha that she just joined in this association. I was always seeking for association, but when I was unable to walk, and she came to my house, and at that time the holy Gaur Purnima Utsav was there, and she said, "Ma'am, I go to temple, can I?" I said, "Yeah, sure, you go." And over there she found the Govindmani Mataji, and she asked, and then I just started to read with her the Srimad Bhagavatam, Gita, and everything. So I am so fortunate, and thank you, Megha, you too. I got Sandhya Mataji by you too.
We got everyone through Vamsidhari Prabhuji. I got it.
Yeah, that is the main thing. Yeah, that's the main Vamsidhari Prabhu. All glories to him. Then he started this whole thing process to reading Bhagavatam and Gita. Then we could connect each other.
He is the culprit.
Yeah, culprit.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if we have nothing, no other sharings, then we will continue again next week. Thank you so much again for joining, everyone. Vancha kalpatarubhya
Kalpatarubhyashta kripa sindhubhya patitanam
Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo
namo
namaha.
namaha.
Ki jai.
Ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare
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 Krishna.
Krishna.